Welcome back to the Chaos and Carry-Ons podcast with Stephanie
and Shelby.
Chaos and carry-ons, let's go. Disney dreams in tow, you know. Every flight and every ride. Join the journey, come inside.
This episode is going to be about Disney's California Adventure. On the last episode, we only talked about Disneyland. Those are two different parks. And would you say they're across the street? I don't know how to explain that.
It's so hard to explain to anybody that's never been there, but they're like, 20 feet apart?
Yeah. I mean, I'm saying they're across the street. There's no street.
No.
It's all like this giant circle, which they have a name for it, and I can't remember the name that they call it. For that hub, I'm going to call it a hub, but there is an official name that they say. They're closer than you can even imagine. It's like the Magic Kingdom entrance to the bus stop, if that puts it into perspective.
I honestly don't think it's even that far, to be honest with you. I was thinking Magic Kingdom entrance to like the boat, like right there, right outside the gate. Well, something that makes me sad about this, and I was thinking about this earlier because I knew we were going to record for DCA, but we did not do this park together because all chaos broke loose, and we went on Wednesday of that week, me, Jordan, Taylor, and Harper, and stayed in there through the rain. We went back to the hotel, and then we went back that night. And then we went for a short period of time on our last day to go hit the things we wanted to do again. But we never did this one together, and that makes me sad.
I know. And I wanted to see it at night, and we didn't get to do that either. But it was what it was. It'll have to be on another trip.
Yeah.
It made me really, really excited for Disney World bringing Cars to their park.
So I want to ask you first, what was your first impression of DCA? So I had been there before. I knew it's very similar to Hollywood Studios, but I want to hear an impression like from somebody that's never been there. You're walking into it blindly. What was your impression of it?
I didn't feel like it was like Hollywood Studios, to be honest. I felt like it was a hodgepodge of things. I mean, you could say parts of it were like Hollywood Studios. The Avengers part of it felt very Hollywood Studios-esque when you're outside of the web slingers. And they had a few superheroes like outside that you could meet and take pictures with. That part right there did, and where the Monsters, Inc. ride also did. And those were not in the same section, but those two did. But then like Cars Land felt like, I didn't feel like Toy Story when I was there.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just felt different. And that to me felt like the best, I'm going to say aside from Star Wars Land, I thought that Cars Land was amazing. The theming of it. I thought it was a lot better than Toy Story, to be honest. I don't know. It felt more immersive.
I think the Cars Land is my favorite land in all the Disney parks that I've been to.
Yes. They did a very, very good job.
I think I would wait to say that until we do go to Japan, China, Paris, because those are coming. I mean, it might be 25 years from now, but I want to answer that again and see how Cars Land compares to their lands. But Cars Land trumps, in my opinion, Toy Story Land, Star Wars, Avatar, or Pandora, whatever you want to call it. I think it's better than all those.
It's really, really neat. I don't know. It was just something. It was something different, maybe. But once it's pretty amazing, like how quickly you feel immersed into there, because you pass like this billboard type sign that says Cars Land. I don't know. Do they have one that says Toy Story Land?
Actually, I think they do.
You come through there, and that's where I saw my first celebrity. Let's throw that out there, which I can't remember the guy's name.
Like low budget celebrity. His net worth was like what? What did we say? 20 million or something? He's not Taylor Swift, but I don't even remember his name.
Yeah. But anyway, that's where I saw my first celebrity. And so I don't know. I think too, because Mateo is obsessed with cars, that it made it really, really special. But we never did get to see Tomater and Lightning McQueen come down that
So
street that they do.
they do come down and you can have meet and greets. We saw them, but we didn't go over and meet them.
I would say that I don't know what the section is called. Is it called the pier? Is that what they call it?
Pixar Pier.
Yes. That section was giving upscale Great America. I'm sorry, Disney fans. I don't know what it was, but I told that to Derek when we were sitting there. I think he might have even said, he's like, I feel like I'm at Six Flags right now. And I was like, really? He was like, yes. But the farther that we went into that section, the more that I was like, okay, yeah, this feels like an upscale fair.
So we were sitting down at dinner, and I didn't know that y'all had said that because, like I said, we weren't there at the same time that y'all were. But we were sitting in one of those little quick service areas, and I just looked at Jordan and was like, I feel like I'm at Lake Winnipesaukee right now. And for those
anybody
that
knows,
like, if you know what Lake Winnipesaukee is, you know, like, and he was like he was so astonished that I thought that. Like, he gasped so loud, like, are you serious? Now,
well, I was gonna say Lake Winnipesaukee is like, if people aren't like from the South and the region, they're gonna be like, that is worse to me than Six Flags.
Oh, absolutely. It's been there. Like, my grandparents went there as little bitty kids. It is so sketchy. It's like a fair carnival that stays up 24/7 is basically like, that's how I would describe it to somebody that doesn't know what it is. So, and by that, I mean, I didn't feel like Lake Winnipesaukee is very like, well, I haven't been in several years, so I don't know. Maybe they've upgraded, but I doubt it.
I doubt it. I doubt it. I've seen the pictures. It's not much.
Yeah, it's like rickety, like, it doesn't feel very clean, whatever. Now, I didn't feel that way at DCA, but
no.
You have that little pier, like you're on the water. There's a roller coaster. There's a Ferris wheel. There's like those little carnival games where you pay $5 and try to ring the bottle on the neck, whatever. That's what made me feel like it was like I was at Lake Winnipesaukee. Is just like the carnival game vibes. Now, it was an upscale Lake Winnie, but Lake Winnie nonetheless.
That's what I'm saying. Derek said upscale Six Flags. It was still Six Flags. I don't know if anybody's been there recently, but it's went downhill. It was definitely better than that, but that part did really surprise me. Like, if anybody goes to Disney World and you've been to Animal Kingdom, they had that little section, remember, that had the games. I think they tore all that down.
Dino Land.
Yes, but this was giving more than that. Like, that still feels like you're in Animal Kingdom. I'll say that.
Yeah.
This was like this was totally different than Cars Land. It was totally different than the other parts. Then there was this one part that was like, I said it was giving Wilderness Lodge vibes, but Shelby said it was supposed to be like California woods.
Like the redwoods. I think that's what the point of it was, like Northern California, Sequoia. Like, that's, I think, was the vibes they were going for. And I think
that was very surprising.
I think Pixar Pier is supposed to mimic like Santa Monica Pier. That I think
I can see that.
I think that's the theming there on DCA, is because it is called Disney's California Adventure. So I think that they've tried to like bring in different parts of California, because they also have that, what do they call it? San Fran Tokyo. That's like is supposed to mimic San Francisco, like with Japanese twist. I don't know. I think that's the point. Like, that's what they're going for. And I don't not like it. It just, to me, did not feel like I was in Disney at all.
No, that's what I'm saying. It just was not flowing to me, because it was
very
Cars
choppy.
Land was very, yes, Cars Land was very immersive. And then it was like over here, then you was like, okay, I feel like I'm at Hollywood Studios. Then you went over here and it was like, okay, this is like wilderness vibes type.
Yeah.
And then now I'm at Six Flags. So it felt very separated. I'm going to say that.
Well, Disney parks, for the most part, and even Disneyland, I felt this way. They have a flow when you go from Adventureland into Frontierland. There's a subtle change in the theming. The cast members are wearing different uniforms from one land to the other, and they actually are not even allowed to go into another land in that costume. Fun fact, I learned that on the Keys to the Kingdom tour that I did several years ago. So it's different because you slowly are transitioning into a different land, so to speak. And so you don't
Mm-hmm.
feel that in Disney World. And like I
Yeah, I
said,
would agree
even
with that.
Disneyland. But California Adventure was not like that at all. It's like, bam, here you are. You're in the redwoods. Bam, here you are. There's Tow Mater. Bam, now you're in San Francisco. Like there was no transition at all. And then Avengers were
Yeah.
thrown right in the center of it all.
Yeah. Yeah. It was real it that part was really neat to see. I think we both rode web slingers.
I loved it. Y'all didn't like it, right? You said none of, well, it made all of y'all sick, I think. But
Yeah, it made every single one of us sick, but it was really neat to see, like, in the beginning it's like Tom Holland is Spider-Man,
mhm,
and it was just really, I'm going to say odd because we're used to not, the Avengers are totally removed. Like
mhm,
Marvel is completely removed from Disney World. So that almost felt
yeah.
strange.
No thanks, Universal.
Yeah, so that
Web
was different,
Slingers
but
was awesome. And that's one of the reasons why we went back that last night to go back in there again to ride Web Slingers again. Because me, Jordan, and Taylor, all three really loved it. And we're very competitive when it comes to like Toy Story Mania, Buzz Lightyear, like who can get the highest score. Web
hmm
Slingers was awesome. And the technology that they used for that, if you have no idea what we're talking about, look up a YouTube video so you can see it. It is really, really cool.
it is. It was neat. It was just a lot of spinning. I'll say
Yes,
that.
it was. I didn't feel like it was any more than Toy Story Mania, but because we had never ridden it, I didn't really know what to
hmm
expect. I think it maybe felt a little more.
I was going to say that I was sick that day that
That
we
is
went in,
true. Yeah.
and I was on Shelby's scooter, and let's just say shout out to Disney California Adventure. They're doing it right if you're on a scooter because
Hmm.
I never had to get out.
Nope. They are very, very, very wheelchair accessible. Every single ride in Disney's California Adventure is wheelchair accessible all the way up to the rides. You leave the scooter sitting right there, you hop on the ride, and it's waiting for you when you get off. And that is what I love.
It was nice. It really was nice.
So, my best advice for somebody going to Disney California Adventure would be to either, if you have the multi pass on your tickets, which we talked about that in the last episode, kind of like their fast
hmm
pass system, I
hmm
would recommend buying the Radiator Springs Racers or choose a day to go into DCA where you have early entry if you stay on site because you get a 30-minute jump start. And a lot of people do not stay on site in Disneyland, or I felt like they didn't because we rope dropped DCA that morning and did the early entry. We went right through the line, we went right into Radiator Springs and we maybe waited 20 minutes. So it was fine. We did not buy the multi-pass for it that day, but I did buy it the second time that we went in and we waited maybe 5 minutes. We went right through the
Yeah.
queue. So my
Yeah.
recommendation is that because if you don't do that, you're waiting at least an hour for that ride. And I don't know that I saw it drop below 90 minutes very much at all
hmm
the entire time we were there.
Yeah. We did pay because we came in later. And the ride was about 120 to 180 minutes the whole day. So it was worth it to us to pay for it.
Yes.
You have to ride it. That's
Yes.
like you're the must ride.
Yes.
And I will say it's a newer ride, but still, it's long. It's
Steph, it's really not that new. It's not that new because it was new when we went 11 years ago. It's really not new, but compared to Test Track and Epcot, yes, it is.
right, right. I'm saying like compared to their like Alice and
Well, that's true.
Pirates that
Yeah,
are
that is
like
true.
15 minutes long, it's still like it's longer
Hmm.
than most rides at Disney World.
Well, I filmed the entire thing beginning to end because I wanted Taylor's reaction. And I think that video is like right at 4 to 5 minutes. I don't remember the exact timestamp, but it feels longer than that.
It does. It does. The theming, it's themed from the time, like I said, that you walk into the that section,
Hmm.
even going through that whole queue
Hmm.
and then until you get on and off. It's really amazing.
It
it
is
was done
really
very well.
cute. Even, I mean, Taylor, she likes cars, but I mean, she's not as obsessed as Mateo is. And she still, there was one point, I wish I had it on video. She just stopped in the middle of the street. It was under, in the movie, they have the little caution light or the stoplight that's
Yes.
just flashing. They have that
Yeah.
there too. They have the Flo's Cafe. They have all the little shops that are on the movie are down this strip. So she just stops in the center and is just like looking around, total 360, taking it all in. And I was like, that, it was just really cute to me how she did that because she was just so amazed at how amazing it was. It's totally immersive. You literally feel like you're in Radiator Springs.
Now let's say that Shelby and Jordan were there in the rain,
Yes.
and her and Harper actually rode. I'm sorry, they rode Incredicoaster in the rain.
We did.
I was very surprised that they were running that in the
So
rain.
that day, it was like that annoying drizzle. It really, I wouldn't even call it a rain. It wasn't enough that we had umbrellas. Now we did wear ponchos. We had umbrellas, but we didn't really use them. It was just that it's almost like a mist is kind of what it was. So
Yeah.
and then when we went back on Friday, that was like a torrential downpour rain, and we were with umbrellas and ponchos, and Incredicoaster was closed that day. So I think that's why we had the ability to ride it then. But that was Harper's first upside down roller coaster.
Yeah.
And she was so nervous and so scared. And I kept the entire time was like, Harper, keep your eyes open. Harper, keep your eyes open. Like I wanted her to see it and experience it because I could tell she was excited, but she was nervous. So I drug her on Tron last year, and then I drug her on Incredicoaster this year. So I don't know what we're doing next year, but she's going bigger. Every trip, she's getting braver and braver.
Yeah. Yeah, she was really excited to ride it, and I was glad that they didn't shut that one down in the rain. But that's one of Shelby's talking points that she has wrote down is a lot of things close
They do.
in the rain.
And so in the Pixar Pier area, all of those rides I felt like closed when it was raining because that's where we were on Friday evening. We had dinner over there. There's no telling how much money we spent on those little carnival games that I was talking about because they
Yeah.
were covered. It was out of the rain. Nobody was there. I don't know where everybody else was taking cover, but all the rides right there were closed. So I don't know. We came home with three or four stuffed prizes from those games. She just was going down and going down the row.
Yeah.
But that was disappointing because I did feel like, I don't know, Disney World, and I don't know, maybe it's
Hmm.
because it's California and it never rains there, and so they freak out. I don't know, because I feel like you can pretty much ride anything at Disney World in the rain.
You can.
So that,
Aside from maybe Dumbo.
yeah, that was disappointing to me. Now, we did ride the Radiator Springs Racers. We rode that on the second time that we went in. That
Hmm.
was definitely like pouring rain, like pelting your face. That it was painful. It was painful to ride that in the rain. But right
Yeah.
after we got off, it completely stopped raining, of course.
Yeah. Like I said, if I was having to pick, let's say this, if I was having to pick to go to DCA or Disneyland, I would pick Disneyland if you only had one day.
Yes, if you have one day, definitely do Disneyland for the nostalgia. But I mean, you could easily do both of those parks. And if you have 2 days and you can do one full day in each park, that's plenty of time. You do not need
It
more than
is.
2 days. We had three
It is.
days, and our third day was literally just to go hit everything that we wanted to do the second time or anything that we had missed due to rain or barf or both.
Or cancer,
Yeah.
getting over cancer.
Yeah.
If we would have all been completely healthy, we could have done it all in 2 days. And our third day would have probably just been going to watch World of Color, which we
Hmm.
did not mention that yet. That DCA is the one where you go to see World of Color.
Yeah, that's their nighttime show. They do in front of the big Ferris wheel at Pixar Pier, and we watched that when we were there last time. I remember thinking it was cool, but it was nothing like I wasn't very disappointed that I didn't see it this time. I'm sure you were because you've never seen it
I
before.
was. I was.
But to me, it was like a lower grade Phantasmic meets that, the Epcot one. Like it's not as good as Magic Kingdom fireworks. That's kind of to me, I would compare it to the Epcot What is it they used to do? They've changed it now. Illuminations or whatever it was called.
Yeah. I was going to call it Imaginations.
I don't know.
Right,
I don't remember the name, but
it was called Illuminations.
But for World of Color, you have to do a virtual queue. And what was it, like at noon or something? You had to sign on to get like these tickets for it. Which I don't know that you had to have that. I don't know. We didn't make it over there. So I don't know. We didn't ever use our virtual queue.
One of the things that I was going to say is that I did not notice as many characters walking around in DCA as there was in Disneyland. I don't know if you noticed that. They did have Avengers walking around, but not any of the other ones. And then like the Cars characters came down. That was it.
We didn't see any characters. Like we have no autographs or pictures with any characters in DCA. We could have done
see Spider-Man?
Well, we saw him over there, but we didn't wait for him. The Avengers were up doing some kind of little stage show when we came through, but we didn't watch that. I have a little girl, so she wasn't interested. We could have seen Lightning McQueen. I guess we wouldn't have got a signature. I don't really know how that works, but I don't know. Never thought about it. But yeah, there definitely was a lack of characters compared to Disneyland because it seems like they were just wandering around aimlessly everywhere.
Yeah. I will say I don't know that there was really any sit down restaurants in there. Was there?
They do have a couple. Don't ask me the names because I don't know, but I've never heard anybody recommend it. Never.
Yeah. We just ate like counter service while we were there, and actually it was pretty good. Like Harper really liked hers. I don't know, and this is going to be another like TikTok shout out, but Jordan had his fair share of chicken. I don't know if we mentioned this.
We haven't, but I did joke in one of the podcasts before we went, we were talking about doing Jordan's chicken count. Well, we did it. And if you haven't seen it yet, go look on Chaos and Carry On's TikTok. Is it on Instagram too? I know it's on TikTok.
Yes, it's on Instagram.
So go look on socials and you'll find it. It is so funny. And sadly, that wasn't all of them. There were some meals that he ate so fast that I couldn't record him eating his chicken. So, so another thing I was disappointed that wasn't in DCA, well, also Disneyland too. When we were there for our honeymoon, DCA they have this massive indoor theater where they do like the shows, like the Broadway style musicals. And at that time they had Aladdin in there. And that was the absolute best Disney show that we've been on 8 Disney cruises and we've seen Aladdin on the cruise ships, but it did not touch this one. I mean, it was the best. The genie was hilarious. It was amazing. And I was sad that closed. I think they changed it to Frozen later, but during the pandemic, they closed that. And now they have nothing. There's no show in there. It's a wasted space. And then in Disneyland, they had my second favorite show. It was called like Mickey's Magical Map or something. And it was like he traveled the globe and it would show all the Disney characters from that area. Let's say he goes to Africa and here comes Simba coming out. You know, it was really, really neat. And I loved that. And that also closed during the pandemic and was not there. So I felt like they have 0 shows at all. And that's one of our favorite things at Disney World is like Beauty and the Beast, Lion King, Finding Nemo. Those are really good. But Disneyland had none.
I think if we do go again, it will probably be when we're going to Hawaii.
Yes.
And I could see even just doing a 1-day park hopper.
Yep.
Run back and forth. I definitely want to see it again. I just don't know if I would be so quick to rush over there to make it a whole long 7-day thing again.
No.
I don't know how you feel about it.
No, and the only reason why we did that is because it had been so long since we had been, and Taylor was seeing it for the first time, and we used our DVC on the room and saved a lot of money by doing that. We stayed 9 nights. I know I mentioned that in one of the other episodes, but we did a lot outside of Disney too, which we're going to talk about in the next episode. So, I mean, we had something to do every single day that we were there, all 10 days. Would I go back? 100%. I do plan to go back. But like you said, I'm thinking like we go for 2 days and then we shoot over to Alani and soak up the sun over there.
Yeah. There is not as much merch like Disney World has a ton that says like Disney World on it. And I was looking for Disneyland things. They do have it, don't get me wrong, but there's just not as much.
It's not as big of a variety.
No. So I was surprised about that. Like there's not as many ornaments and pins and just all the things.
Yeah. Speaking of pins, we collect pins. If every hotel that we go to, every state we visit, we have this entire pin board thing. And I was so disappointed because they did not have a single pin that said like Cars Land. They didn't even have Lightning McQueen pin, like just the character. So we did get a California Adventure pin, but I think it's Pixar Pier. Like they didn't even have one for Cars Land, and that's what Taylor wanted, because that was her favorite part.
Yeah.
So I mean that just goes to show that at Disney World you can get a pin for any ride that you want.
I was going to say, yeah,
anything.
Yes.
Because we always, that's another thing. And that's why I was looking for it, is because every time she rides like a quote, big kid ride, we buy the pin for that. Like she has the Tiana's Bayou pin, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. So we were going to do Cars Land because she deserved it after that traumatic experience. But they didn't have one. So
no, I didn't even see like the Haunted Mansion pins like they normally have, which they might, because they might have had it in that Haunted Mansion shop.
They probably did. We never
briefly went through there. Yeah, I just breezed through there. But the next, like Shelby just said, the next episode is going to be where we're going to talk about going to the beach, Santa Monica Pier, when she took a tour. So stay tuned because the California series is not over. And you haven't even heard from the kids yet.
No, I think that's everybody's favorite part. And when we did the Hawaii wrap up and we got their highs and lows, it was just tiny little snippets. And I'm going to try to come up with some prompts to ask them, because I think that's what people liked the most about that, is hearing from other people other than us. So I'm going to like come up with questions that we can ask them so they have more airtime than we gave them last time. But I did find a couple questions on Instagram that people asked us, if I can find it. Well, I found one. I don't know where the others went, but somebody asked, is it really true? Are the churros better at Disneyland? And I'm here to tell you, it is absolutely true. The churros are better at Disneyland. Did you agree? Did you try it?
Everything was better in California, but yeah, they were better. You know what they tasted like? Like a real Mexican made those churros. That's what they tasted like.
Well, you would know. So I don't think he's ever had a churro unless maybe he's had a bite of one of mine before. I don't get it as much as I get a Dole Whip. Now, churros not my snack of choice, like number one. That's what I'm getting every time. But I do eat churros. But the Disneyland churro, he went and got his own, and he was like, this is literally the best thing I've ever had. Like his favorite Disney snack he's ever had. So that to me, I mean, he's never had the Disney World one that I know of, maybe a bite, but yes, they are better in Disneyland.
Well, my friend, she moved from Venezuela and she loves churros. And she was trying to ask her husband when she moved here, like, where can I get a churro? He took her to Taco Bell.
For a cinnamon twist?
Yes.
That is not a churro.
Oh, that's what when somebody talks about churros, I think about that, about him taking her there.
I would love to see her reaction when she thinks she's getting a churro and she gets this cinnamon twist. That is not even comparable.
Well, I guess he had never had a churro before. If she's listening to this, she's probably laughing, but yes.
The cinnamon sugar aspect of it, yes, that's the same, but no, that's two totally different consistencies.
Oh, that's funny. Well, we'll have to find those other questions because I know we had a few more.
Yeah, we do. And I mean, we have at least one more episode of the California series, probably two, because I'm thinking the non-Disney stuff will probably take a whole episode, and then we'll wrap it all up with everybody else's opinions.
Yes.
So stay tuned. And if you haven't put in a question yet, but there's something that you want to know, go do it now. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. You know the drill.
As always, thanks for listening.
Don't know why you do, but thank you. We're glad that y'all come back because we enjoy it. It's really fun. And somebody posted on Instagram earlier and it made me feel so happy, but then I laughed. She was like, these are my What did it say? This is my current favorite yappers.
Yappers.
I
Yeah.
was like, well, we are great at yapping, so thank you. Thanks for the shout out. May your flights be on time and your luggage never lost. But if it's not, that's where the fun begins. Bye.
Bye.
Pack your dreams, grab your bag. Adventures call, let's zig and zag. From castles tall to ocean waves, magic made for wanderers brave. Theme parks light up the night, starry-eyed in sheer delight. Board the ships that sail and see, endless tales and fantasy. Chaos and carry-ons, let's go. Disney dreams in tow, you know. Every flight and every ride, join the journey, come inside. From Mickey ears to Dole Whip tree, pixie dust beneath our feet. Through the lands and sea we roam, feel the wonder, feel at home. From rope drop to the fireworks show, lose yourself in the joyful glow. Cruising waters, feeling free, every twist's a memory. Chaos and carry-ons, let's go. Disney dreams in tow, you know. Every flight and every ride, join the journey, come inside.